Hi everyone, I'm Miss Allison, and I'm sitting here in my favorite reading chair because I'm here to tell you about three books featuring stories that illustrate the immigrant experience. Being a non native person in a foreign country can be difficult in many ways, and you may even know this from personal experience. These stories encompass some of the struggles immigrants go through when immersing themselves in a new culture, sometimes having to learn a new language, and sometimes in a place where they aren't welcome. So let's get started. The first book I want to share with you is called American Street by Ibi Zoboi. This is an emotional and powerful work of fiction about 16-year-old Fabiola Toussaint, or Fabulous, as she comes to be known by her American friends and family. While she may be American born, her mother is not, and she lived most of her life in Haiti, so she's Haitian through and through. When she and her mother leave their home in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, for Detroit, Michigan, her mother is detained by U.S. immigration, and Fabi is forced to navigate a new life all on her own. As she flies over the country, she thinks, I looked down at America, its vastness resembling a huge mountain. I felt if I was just a pebble in the valley. Fabi is greeted in the airport by her loud, boisterous American cousins, Chantal, Donna, and Princess, who she meets for the first time. They take her back to her home with her Haitian Aunt Jo, who promises to help Fabi's mother become free from immigration officials. But it couldn't happen fast enough. With the help of her American fam, Fabi learns how to hold her own in high school and on the rough Detroit West Side. But Fabi was under the impression that American life was supposed to be easier, and she realizes that freedom comes at a cost. She enrolls in the private school all her cousins attend, but quickly learns her cousins have a reputation, and Fabi is automatically guilty by association. One night, she meets Donna's boyfriend, Dre, who drives an expensive car, is a little too loud, has shady friends, and he always seems to be fighting or ordering Donna around. The only good thing about Dre is his friend Kasim, and to Fabi's surprise, she begins to fall for him. But is he anything like Dre with all his secret money? And what will happen to her mother? Will she ever talk to her again? Fabi learns what it means to be tough. Tough on the inside to hide her sadness, and tough on the outside. She also has her voodoo religion to keep her grounded, and she sees signs all over that help guide her through her new and sometimes confusing life. Soon enough, a detective finds Fabi, and an opportunity presents itself. Finally, Fabi sees a way that she can get her mother back. But opportunities come at a cost. And what is Fabi willing to pay, and just how much? This multiple award-winning book, American Street, by Ibi Zoboi, was a National Book Award finalist and is a great read for anyone who's interested in voodoo or magic, who is in a strange and unfamiliar land, or who knows what it's like to make difficult choices to save the ones you love. This is a great book for high schoolers, and you can find it in the Teen Center in the YA fiction. Call number YAZOB. It also makes for a great listen on audiobook because the Haitian accents make the story even more immersive. So, another realistic fiction title that focuses on the immigrant experience is Return to Sender by Julia Alvarez. When Tyler's father is injured in a tractor accident on his Vermont farm, his family has no choice but to hire Mexican workers to keep the farm up and running. But Tyler isn't sure how to feel about these workers because he comes to find out they are undocumented and they've come to America illegally. He's a good citizen and he wants to obey the laws of his country, and he's always trying to do the right thing. Mari, she's the oldest of her three sisters, and living on the farm in Vermont is very difficult from their last home in North Carolina. She was born in Mexico, like her parents and her tios, or uncles. She is not an American citizen like her sisters, Luby and Ophi, who were born in North Carolina, where her parents first immigrated. Mari hasn't seen or even heard from her mother in almost a year after she traveled back to Mexico to be with her abuela, or grandmother, before she died. Did her mother make it across the border safely this time? Mari knows the coyotes, or the people who help immigrants cross the border illegally for a fee, can be dangerous people, so she doesn't even know if her mother is still alive. Even her poppy has lost hope, And so Mari has to be strong in Vermont to care for her sisters, who are all losing their Mexican heritage and insist upon speaking English at home. Mari finds comfort in writing letters to her mother or her family in Mexico, and it seems like the only way she can be heard is by putting her thoughts on paper. Mari often feels angry, but she is grateful to have a home with the patrones on the farm who are kind to her and treat her just like family. Except for Tyler. He is weary of Mari's family, and he isn't sure if they should even be living on the farm in the first place. Everyone, his grandmother, his father, mother, older brother, and sister, they seem to be okay with it, but he doesn't have a choice when Mari starts school and is in Tyler's grade. His mom forces him to be nice to her, and he comes to discover that even with all of their differences, friendship has no borders. A quote from the book reads, "Now that I have a special friend, I feel like I don't have to be one thing or another. Friendship is a country everyone can belong to, no matter where you are from." Will Mari ever see her mother again? And what will happen if immigration officials find out about Mari's family? Will they be sent back to Mexico, where they couldn't even afford to live? And will Tyler ever be able to welcome the Mexican family into his heart and home? Return to Sender by Julia Alvarez is told from two perspectives, both Tyler's and Mari's. And it's the winner of the Pura Belpre Award, which is given to a Latino or Latina author whose work portrays, affirms, and celebrates the Latino cultural experience in literature for youth. This is a great read for middle school and younger high school students who want to know more about the struggles that Mexican immigrants experience getting to America and the fear they experience staying in a country that only seems to want them out. You can find the book in the children's section, and the call number is JALV. So the third book that I want to highlight is a little different. American Street and Return to Sender are both works of fiction. However, this book, The Unwanted, Stories of the Syrian Refugees by Don Brown, is a nonfiction graphic novel about the plight of Syrian refugees. In early 2011, refugees flood out of war-torn Syria in record numbers. But escaping a war zone is not easy, and the only future the Syrian people see in their own country is bombings, death, and destruction. So they set off for a new life to Jordan, Turkey, Lebanon, Europe, and really any other place they can make a new life. Immigrants die in the process, sometimes drowning on boats that are fleeing the country, and other times getting shot by Syrian President Assad's guards. It's a dangerous journey, but it's the only way the Syrian people can build new lives for themselves and their children. I'm going to show you a couple of clips from the book here. Thousands a day land in Greece. Most don't pause and push on toward Western Europe through Macedonia, Serbia, Hungary, Croatia, and Austria. Nearly 4 million people, Syrians, 95% of all refugees, find refuge in Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, and Egypt. The 5.5 million refugees are about equal to the population of Denmark. These vast number of refugees feel trapped, scared, hurt, and have seen things we can only imagine in our worst nightmares. But still they venture on in search of a new and better life. And those who stay behind, they realize the danger they face and they try to get out. And those who travel to other countries do so in any way possible. When they finally make it somewhere else, they aren't always welcome. Some end up in dilapidated refugee camps or worse. Don Brown tells the heart-wrenching stories of these refugees. They are the unwanted. And can any of them build a new and better life for themselves? Aren't there any countries out there who will sympathize with the Syrian people? And what can be done to stop this violence and the war? Is there any hope left? Winner of the 2019 award for Excellence in Young Adult Nonfiction. This is a beautifully illustrated graphic novel, and it's a quick and eye-opening read. As you can see, it's very thin. It does include an endnote from the author about his travels to refugee camps in Greece. The Unwanted, Stories of the Syrian Refugees is still very relevant today, and these stories can help you learn more about the international refugee crisis and what is being done about it. It's a great book for upper middle grades and high schoolers, and if you're looking for a book to use for a current events or social studies project, this would be a great pick. The powerful images and accurately cited facts will help you step into the shoes of a refugee, understanding how it feels when you aren't welcome anywhere. Go on, pick it up, The Unwanted by Don Brown, and educate yourself on international affairs. This is my personal book. As you can see, it's autographed, made out to me. I got to meet Don Brown at an ALA conference this year. But you can find a copy in the graphic novel section in the adult area of the library. The number of immigrants in America is rapidly growing and is projected to continue trending upward for the next 40 years. As of 2017, there's a record number of 2017, there's a record number of 44.5 million immigrants in the U.S., with many being non-Mexican, Latin American, Asian, and African. Keep in mind, those figures only include the people that are documented, and there are likely many more immigrants than we realize. Many of them are friends, neighbors, or colleagues. As world citizens, we must be able to understand what it's like for immigrants to step out of the familiar into the unknown, and it is our civic duty to be aware of and sensitive to their experiences. So, check out the books: American Street by Ibi Zoboi, Return to Sender by Julia Alvarez, and The Unwanted, Stories of the Syrian Refugees by Don Brown. Maybe one of these books will help you learn to cope with your own experience of immigrating to a new country. Or maybe they will help you gain a better understanding of the struggles immigrants experience if this seems like a foreign concept to you. Pardon the pun. The immigrants and refugees in these stories all experience difficulties of varying level, but one common thread between them is their ability to hang on to the hope for a brighter future and a better life. Again, this is Miss Allison. Thanks for listening to my book talks.